Hey y'all, it's Melanie in the kitchen. You guys asked for it, so here it is. Today I'm going to make a cold cheese dip and a 7-layer dip. The cold cheese dip is a family recipe that our sister-in-law Therese Crocker introduced to all of us, and we just love it. It's great with chips, it's great on baked potatoes. It's, what else do we eat it on? With fresh vegetables. It's just delicious. We even use it as a sandwich spread. You know, like instead of using mayo on the bread, we use this cold cheese dip and then put our meat or whatever. It's really good. And I'm going to read you the ingredients. Very few ingredients. A box of Velveeta cheese. This is a 32 ounce. It's 2 pounds of cheese. And then I'm just reading it from here first. And then a whole quart of Miracle Whip. A 11-ounce can of nacho slices, juice and all. Now, we don't mess around when it comes to nacho slices. We buy it by the big jugs. Okay? This is 4 pounds. 4 pounds. So, we don't mess around with those little ones. But I did get my mixing cup, and I measured out about 11 ounces with some juice. It says juice and all, and I didn't know how much juice, so I just did the best I could. And then we have 2 cloves of garlic and some chopped onions. And it says it keeps 3 weeks in the refrigerator and it freezes well. I have never made it to freeze because we eat it too quickly. So, it says to melt the Velveeta in a 200-degree oven until melted. And mine's an empty box. I already have my Velveeta cheese over there melting, so we'll see. Alright. I am going to give the nacho peppers a little chop so they're not so, so they go further in there. And then it said some onions. It didn't say how much. So I'm just going to give these a quick chop. I used about half an onion. I used a yellow onion. And it made me start crying when I was peeling it. So it's pretty strong. I would say we want these in smaller pieces because, you don't want big chunks. And the reason I am making this today is it's Christmas Eve when I'm making it. I don't know when you guys will ever see this, but we're having Granny over for a Christmas little buffet. And it's not going to be a traditional Christmas meal. We pretty much did all of that for Thanksgiving, and just really didn't want to do that again. Granny will be spending today, Christmas Eve, with George's brother Vern and his family, and then tomorrow will be our day. Alright, I'm going to grab a little bowl and put my onions in there. May still have to chop them a little more. Actually, that looks like a lot of onions, and when I start, my eyes are watering again, people. And I'm going to take these jalapenos out and give those a little chop. Remember, I have the juice in there, too. And you see my eyes tearing up? That's a strong onion. The last time we bought them, I bought the white skinned, and they were so strong. When I cut them, I just couldn't stand it. So we went back to the yellow skin this time. You can see my eyes. Oh, by the way, I like the Shoot Dang shirt. This was an original that Jason had made, and Jason is our son. He's going to make a Shoot Dang clothesline, not like a line you hang your clothes up on to dry, a clothes merchandise line. And this was his personal shirt, so when they were down here for Thanksgiving, he got ready to leave, and he said, here, Mom, you can have my shirt. I'm using y'all as my mirror. And that onion's strong. Alright, I'm going to cut these jalapenos. It says just put them in as slices, but I think they need to be chopped up some. Just a quick chop, and remember we're going to add that juice in also. So, let me check my cheese. It is not melted yet. So, I'm going to kind of put this stuff aside while the cheese is melting, and we're going to move on to something else. Clear that off. I really don't enjoy cooking. That's why I don't do more cooking videos. I cooked a lot when the boys were growing up, of course, and they've been gone for many years. It's just George and I, and we just kind of tag team on the cooking around here. And okay. Alright guys, kind of regrouped, and while I'm waiting for my cheese to melt for the cold cheese dip, I'm going to go on and start on my 7-layer dip. And let me count my layers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe that doesn't count. So you have beans. It said a can of beans. And this is a bag of refried beans. We did a review on this one time. They're actually really easy, and they taste just as good as the one in the can, maybe better. So you have refried beans. You have sour cream. It calls for 10 ounces, and I had 16 ounces. So I measured out my 10 ounces of sour cream here. Put this back away. It add 2 cups of cheese, shredded cheese, tomatoes, green onions, and avocado, and taco seasoning. It did say that you can use just avocados, or you can make your own guacamole and put that on there. So, I have all my jalapenos on my cutting board. That needs to go. So, in my bowl for my cheese dip, I went ahead and added the juice from the nacho jalapeno peppers. I'm going to put those back in the bowl with that. Still waiting for that cheese to melt. And I have my other things here, but I'm going to do some cutting up here. Now, in my 7-layer dish, it calls for a 13x9 pan. So, try to read these directions. I hate putting on these glasses when y'all are watching, but I can't see. It says, spread your refried beans on your serving platter. So we're going to do that first. And our refried beans are in a bag. So we're going to squirt these puppies out. Gross, right? La Sierra. Refried beans in a bag. Not bad. Alright, I'm just going to spread those along the bottom with a 13x9 pan. It did not say, you know, that it should be thick or Okay guys, I went back and got another bag. I just don't think that's enough, so I'm going to put 2 bags in there. So I would suggest that if you have canned beans, to use 2 cans. I have not made this in a long time. Comment below and tell me what are some dips that you like to make. I like French onion dip. I think that's good. I'm looking on my computer monitor. Might need to make it a little bigger so I can see better. Okay. In a mixing bowl, mix your avocado with your garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Alright, so I'm going to do that. And I'm using the 2 avocados. I had never eaten an avocado until I moved to South Texas. What do you think about that? I took to them immediately. Enjoy them very much. Now why don't we just use a spoon to get that out? It's already mashed up anyway. Y'all all know that I film George most of the time. I think I can handle that. But filming myself and trying to do stuff at the same time is difficult for me. Just look how pretty they are. Come on people, if y'all have ever made a YouTube video, you know how it is. Probably ain't gonna go right if you want it to. Let's read that again. I've lost my glasses, can't see them. Mash your avocados together with garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Alright, let me get my salt and pepper. I'm just going to estimate a little bit of salt, Clover Valley, Dollar General, a little bit of pepper, Clover Valley, Dollar General. Why do I give Dollar General so much free advertising? Because they're the only store we have here that we can shop in. Garlic powder. Okay. And it says just mash them. I'm going to mash with a fork. They are just the right consistency. They're not hard, and then they're not too ripe where they would be starting to turn colors. Still nice and green. Next, spread the avocado mixture over the top of the beans. Doesn't really look like enough to smush around on there, but I'm going to check and see if I have an extra avocado. I do. One more. Y'all, I really don't want to show my refrigerator. It looks pretty rough. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's got tamales and a ham and you know, all kind of extra stuff in there. Now, should I re-season all for this one or just let it go? I hear you screaming at me. Some of you are saying, nah, just put it on top of that. And some of you are saying, you know you better re-season. What do y'all think I'm going to do? Re-season or let it go? I'm going to put some garlic because it's still here. And the salt and pepper is just right next door, so why not grab it again? Give that a mash. I'm not sure what Google is barking at, but alright, so I put the avocado on top of that. Now let's see what it says. In another mixing bowl, combine the sour cream and taco seasoning. So here's my sour cream and here's my taco seasoning. Making a mess. Y'all know I can't see, and just makes it a little more difficult, a little more challenging. Look at that mess. Oh, I don't like people to see how messy I am. Y'all all know I'd never make it as Rachel Ray. So I got the seasoning, taco seasoning inside the sour cream. I'm going to mix it. Pretty much probably what I use is my trilogy of spices. You can ask Matt, he knows what they are. It's chili powder, garlic, and Camino. Okay, so that made up, it's thick, and we're going to add this on here. It's the sour cream and the taco seasoning. And by the way, that cheese that I have melting in the oven, you could do that in your microwave. It just so happens that this week my microwave quit. And George and Matt are in town right now buying another microwave, but it's not doing me any good right now, so it's in a low oven. Smooth that out on there. We usually eat 7-layer dip with chips, like nacho chips. Now it looks pink. The next step, it says if you're adding salsa, then spread a layer of salsa here. I was not going to do that, but I have some left. I have a whole nother jar, but I'm going to. I don't like thick and chunky. It's just that's what we got. Just kind of spread it on top. Doesn't look great that way, but it doesn't matter because it's all going to be covered up. All right. Shred the cheddar cheese and sprinkle the cheese on top of that. Of course, we bought our own shredded cheese. I used to always shred my own because it was cheaper. You know, I'd rather buy it now. Matt was the one that asked for this time. He mentioned that he would like to have some of the 7-layer dip, and I got to thinking of other things that I like to have at Christmas, you know, not necessarily for the meal, but just that we like to snack on and eat. And so that's when we kind of decided we're going to have tamales and we're going to have ham, but we're going to have these like party side dishes with it rather than you know, traditional side dishes. So it's looking better now. It's got the cheese on top. Let's see. Slice the olives and sprinkle the olives on top. That was the layer I forgot. Let me go get them. Okay. I have 2 cans. I have Clover Valley, which is Dollar General, and Great Value. It just called for 1, but I'm going to test this out. I'm going to drain that juice off. So I'm definitely going to use 2 cans of that. I really don't even know what it called for, but I've got them and I'm going to use them. My 42-year-old can opener is finally dying. Spread those around a little. Okay. Okay, then dice the tomatoes and sprinkle the tomatoes on top. and then the onions. Alright. So this is what it's looking like. Looking really good. So now I'm going to chop these tomatoes and some green onion and put those on there. We do like the tomatoes that come on the vine. Like these vine ripe tomatoes. We have those. We used to buy the aroma tomatoes all the time, but we really do like these. They seem to stay better. What is it, Gooby? You don't know about 7-layer dip, Gooby? So if y'all saw the video that George put out where he cleared around the gate with the tractor, he actually hit the gate with the tractor. This morning he went out, or he looked out, and he said he saw a dog out in the pond and realized it was one of ours. Went out and looked, and that gate had blown open and the dogs were out. But he was able to go out and get them back in. Y'all, I'm making this for tomorrow. Do you think it's going to survive today? Where I'm going to put this in my refrigerator, because my refrigerator is packed. Okay. Looking good. And now we're going to put the onions on there. Green onions. George loves green onions. He loves all onions. Chop those ends off. He can go stick those out in his garden if he wants to. Which, no, we don't have anything in it yet. And we're going to sprinkle those on top. I think George and Matt are back from town. I hear the door. Alright, so Matt's the one that wanted the 7-layer dip. And here's Matt. And Matt, I have fixed your 7-layer dip.
Awesome.
So what do you think?
Dang, that looks good.
It looks like it's going to be good to eat.
See this, people? And Matt, I've already told the folks you can't have it till tomorrow. You think it's going to survive?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, so let's review those 7 ingredients again. They are the beans, avocados, sour cream, taco seasoning, shredded cheddar cheese, black olives, tomatoes and onions. That was 8, so anyway. So there is the 7-layer dip that we will eat with chips. I'm going to cover this up and find a place for it. But in the meantime, I need to look into the oven and see how the cheese is progressing. Hopefully it is melting. I believe it'll work. So you can see that it had the whole block in the oven and it is melted. I'm going to put the nacho sliced jalapenos in here, juice and all, 11 ounces. And then I'm going to add a whole quart of Miracle Whip. It really does need to be Miracle Whip. And I'm going to put it in here. Today I will just make the stuff, and then you will have to stick around for tomorrow when we can give you some first-hand information about how good it tastes. Get it all out. Granny used to make this stuff all the time. The whole family just loved it. Granny would make it and bring it down to us a whole jar at a time. The cheese is not hot. It is just enough to be melted, to be mixed. And also, let's see, I got some onions in there. It did not say how much, so I'm going to put a lot because we like them. And remember I told you it called for garlic cloves, which I did not have, so I'm using the garlic pepper powder. And I'm just going to add some for now. And stir. So I see George bought my microwave. I was just telling them, honey, that it had just died and I needed it for this cheese. But I was able to do that in the oven. You get it at Walmart?
Yeah,
Was Walmart crowded on Christmas Eve?
it was. A lot of people last minute things.
Okay. This takes a minute to stir together, folks. You just have to keep working it. So it's all in there. You just got to keep working it until it gets mixed. This cheese dip can be used for crackers, chips, baked potatoes, sandwich spread.
Yeah, I like it as a sandwich spread. It's really good.
And tomorrow we're going to eat it with a veggie tray. So, clean my bowl up, and then I will put it in the refrigerator. So we have the 7-layer. This is the cold cheese dip. Even though it's warm, it will go in the refrigerator to cool. And this is the 7-layer dip that we will have with chips. So you won't see this until after Christmas, but we will give a taste test tomorrow and we'll show you the final spread. So hope you enjoyed. You bought me a new coffee pot? Y'all, I just got a Christmas present right here on Live Action. Crockers Live Action. We're changing the name of the channel. We've had a bun before. Granny gave us a bun back in the days, in the 70s, and we loved it. And, well, now we have a new one.
Yeah, we're cheapskates. We went down to Dollar General.
They know we're cheapskates. They watch.
We went to Dollar General and they had some coffee pots there, regularly $15.
For 10.
No, for $5.
Well, the first one we bought was 10.
And then we went back and never cleared them out, and it was $5. So we've been using those two.
We use one, and when the boys come, we pull out both of them, you know. But the bun, if you haven't ever had one before, heats perks in 3 minutes. It keeps it hot, 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 which is exactly the way I like it. And it perks quick. So, Matt, would you like to come in and say a final word on this video? Just tell me how you think the cold cheese dip looks.
Oh, it's like I want to eat it right now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if this
Let's just
stuff's
stick
going to
a
make it.
finger in it.
I don't know if it's going to make it till tomorrow.
Wow.
Taste the cheese dip anyway.
Okay.
But it hadn't married good yet. you
Yeah, I
know?
know about the marrying.
Did you marry good or bad?
Good, but it got better
Oh, well, there you go.
as time went.
So just like that dip's going to get better.
Oh, that's good right now.
Alrighty. Well, you guys stay tuned. I have some more cooking to do for you in another video. Adios.
Bye.